All right, what is going on, everybody? My name is Peter Del Tondo. I am a design director over at Unfold, and today we're going to be jumping into the final daily creative challenge here in Adobe XD for the week. So thank you all for joining in, and Andrew for haunting the chat with all of these ghosts. It's always fun to see that and see you all. I love seeing the same folks every day, and they get to see your challenges. It's super exciting. All right, real quick. Today is my last day of this challenge, so I just wanted to stop and take one last moment to adjust the things that are going on before we get into some fun and have learn some new things. So obviously, it should go without saying that Black Lives Matter. We are here with you. Take this time, learn, listen, observe what's going on, and what I just want to stress lastly is just love on each other. Be the light in the dark place in this time where we're seeing some of the best of the world, some of the worst of the world. Be that light, be an example of what being a moral, good individual is, and be somebody that others want to aspire to be through your actions and your behavior. For those of you that are parents, I've got 3 little kids myself. Raise those little human beings to be wonderful, loving people of all races, sexes, gender identities, everything. Just raise your kids right, and we will live in a better place together. So, with that, let's get into some fun stuff. Thank you guys for being here today. We've got Sam and Andrew, Michelle, Eric. Minsa, thank you for jumping in on our stream last night too. It's so great to have you all. Andrew joined me last night, and we had a lot of fun doing some project reviews of your challenges. So if you haven't already, make sure that you jump into the Discord channel with us. And if you come over here to Discord, right here in the current challenge channel. This is where I'm going to go in, and myself and the other mentors, you can see the long list of mentors that we have here on the side. We will be reviewing your projects and giving you feedback. And this is probably one of my favorite things, even more than getting to teach these lessons, is to see you all succeed, learn and understand the concepts that we are trying to teach. And especially when I get to see you, when I see your faces here in chat, and I see you in another month or 2 or 3 months when I do the next stream. I love seeing the progress and seeing how far you've come since the last time. So I just that's my favorite part. So come join us again. I think Andrew will join me. I'm probably going to take tonight off and just take some time for myself here with the family, but we will be back at it Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you follow me on Behance on my personal page, behance.net/Peter Del Tondo, and you'll get a notification when we go live, and we'll have some more fun. I think I'm going to have some more design friends of mine join in and help with those feedback sessions. So come hang out. It's going to be a ton of fun. Yeah, and then lastly, just check in on your friends. Ask how everybody's doing right now. Like I said yesterday, I am not doing particularly well. Just not sleeping and worrying about friends and family out there, having some hard discussions with people, and it's a rough time. So ask how people are doing. Okay, so today we are going to design an experience where user submitted designs are placed in head-to-head battles. We're going to call this Badge Battle today, and this is all inspired by some old friends of mine that had a site called Type Fight. And Type Fight was actually something that we brought to Creative South, which is a design conference I help organize, along with Mike Jones, Lenny, and Andrew, and other fantastic people out in Columbus, Georgia every year. And we would set up an actual ring, and designers would jump in there for like 30 minutes or an hour at a time and go head to head and create awesome typography and lettering, and then we would vote on who was the winner and give away some cool prizes. So we've been thinking about how to revamp that event, and I thought Badge Battle could be a really cool way to do that. So what we're going to work on is creating the viewing experience where users can vote, and try exporting our designs for developer handoff. So we're going to work on that as well. Okay, so just coming down here, just in terms of some inspiration, this was something I found that kind of, well, not quite the battle and voting system, but it's just kind of that like comparison of two things. And I think this layout here is really cool and current. But this is the old Type Fight site. And as you can see here, we get to see the letter B, and my pal Colin Tierney is going up against Matt here. And you vote, and you get to see like which percentage of users are going in which way, how many people have voted, and just some amazingly talented folks here. And this was just always, this was a fun site. I used to have this back when RSS readers were like really a thing. I would love seeing this stuff, and just super inspiring to see what people come up with. Yeah, fantastic things. So with that, let's kind of go about doing our own version of this. So, all right, I've got a little bit of like a logo lockup here set up. And if I come over to my layers panel, let's go into my artboard. Oh, I'm into the prototype mode. Okay, so I'm gonna set up a layer here in the back, and we'll just delete that little rogue individual. And we'll just put this back here, kind of something like this. I want to go with a really light gray, and I'm going to move this all the way to the back. Just that way we've got a little bit of a banner there up top, just something subtle. All right, now we know we're going to need some kind of navigation. And so I'm going to just grab this text here. I'm going to switch this to just bold is fine. And we'll grab this here. And then let's shrink this down. So maybe let's go 16. I'll zoom in a little bit more so that way it's accurate. And I know I'm going to want things like home. I'm also going to want to simplify that so that height is not insanely tall. So we've got things here like home, gallery, and then maybe on the other side, we set up 2 more, and we'll do shop and log in. Right. And if you're watching on YouTube as well, make sure that you join us over on behance.net/live. That's where we're actually monitoring the chat. So if you're chatting over there, I can't see it while we're going, but join us in Behance. And if you guys have any questions along the way, let us know. All right. So we'll just set these up like this for now. And I know things aren't necessarily totally aligned or perfect, but we're just going to keep moving along for the sake of this challenge. So I'm going to bring over a couple more items. So I want to do something cool here that kind of like grounds this banner. And so I might do something similar to this, where I'm going to grab this. I'm going to show you guys that hover state, and I want to grab that color there, center that up, and then I'm going to set up another rectangle, and I'm going to switch it to a little border, and I'm just going to bring that in a scotch. So let's say we go kind of something like this, just to give it a little bit of kind of dimension and something a little bit more interesting in this design. Cool. All right, so I dig that. And then in there, we can do something like, we'll do round 1. It's like round 1, fight. And now I'm just picturing Andrew jumping out on the stage at Creative South in the Chun-Li costume, which I think you guys got to see if you watched a stream not too long ago. That was one of the most hilarious things I had witnessed. All right, and then over here, we'll do, let's say today's date, June 5th. All right, so we've got this set up. I think that works pretty well. And maybe I'll just I'm going to leave that as is. Nope. We're going to bring this in a little bit. And we see that responsive resize is keeping all of my paddings nice and consistent, which is why I almost didn't do it, because I thought, I don't want to take the time to mess and finesse all of that right away. I don't need to sweat it. Responsive resize is really, really easy. Okay, so now that I've got this set up, I want to start bringing in some artwork. And so I'm going to bring in 2 amazing designers and friends of mine, Alan Peters and Trey Ingram. Alan is like the badge guy. I think he's got the hashtag badge hunting on Instagram. and is just an amazingly talented designer. And Trey is another fantastic illustrator, brand designer, badge builder, just all of the things. If you came to Creative South last year when we did the gaming, he was the one that did all of the stage graphics and things like that on the big arcade screen, and does a lot of the sticker packs for us every year. So awesome dude. Okay, so let's come down here. And now what I want to do is I want to add the ability to, vote for these guys and to click on them. So we're going to add essentially a button here. Oops. So we've got each of these. We'll kind of center those up. Perfect. Okay. These up a little bit more. Excellent. And then let's add a little bit of like description for each of them. So I've got some of this text here kind of ready to go. And in this, we can put in stuff like maybe their experience or their, like, where do they work? What do they do? So Trey, designer, and illustrator. And then we could do one more where we'll do location, Augustine, Florida. And then we'll copy this over. We'll do the same thing here for Alan. And I know Alan, so we also do a video interview series with designers, and Alan has been highly requested. So I actually need to be, I owe you a note, Alan, if you happen to be watching, to reach out and talk to you about getting you on there, because we're going to have some fun. If you guys want to check out that series and other stuff we do, check us out, youtube.com/unfoldco. And we do some cool content over there as well. And you can also catch, we have a playlist of all of our old Adobe streams. So if you want to catch any of the other challenges that I've done or Evan's been on with me as well, you can check those out over there too. Okay, so let me move these up just a hair so we've got a little bit more room. And Eric Cruz is asking, does anyone know how to easily achieve dragging an element as you can do by holding down Option, Command, and drag anywhere? Dragging an element? I mean, I can do that here. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but hit me up in Discord. We'll chat about that. We'll make sure you get taken care of. All right, so as we have talked about as well, we have the ability to create component states. And with that, we are able to do some cool stuff where we create a hover state. So I've already gone ahead and created this filled in version with the check mark showing that like this is the person that I want to vote for. So I've got those ready to go. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create, well, we don't need to create a separate artboard or version with that because we can have that automatically done through the prototyping. Just as we hover on it, that action is just going to happen. But we want to create a state now where we show what does it look like when we actually vote for these individuals. So let's come down here and let's see, I've got some of this kind of ready to go. So let me add these items, copy these over. And yeah, Cornell, that is the right information. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to delete this. I'm going to bring this over and we can do something like that. So if we have voted for Trey, and then actually let me grab his name as well. If we are going to come over here and vote for Alan, let me make sure that I stack this the right height. Perfect. Okay, so we've got one screen there that if we have voted for Trey, and I'm going to move this kind of over in the middle so we can see this kind of division and breakdown. And then let's flip it. So if I were to vote for Alan, I would just move this item over here. And now we have our two destinations. So really easily, we've been able to simulate what this experience looks like. And if you guys want, you could build this out where, you know, you continue to scroll and there's more and more pages, just like we saw in Type Fight. But let's come on over here into prototype mode. Again, we already see the hover effect for these action items, so we don't need to do anything there. But what we are going to want to do is come in and add an additional one, where now if I vote for Trey, that's going to take us over here. And you can play around with the different items that you want to do. So you might want to do something here where this item has different effects and transitions. But for now, we're just going to leave this on auto animate. I like doing ease in, ease out. I just feel like that always feels the smoothest. And we're going to bump up the time a little bit. And then we're going to do the same kind of thing over here. If we were to vote for Alan, we're going to go to this screen. And then I'm just going to link it up where like this would transition. Actually, no, I want to go back. So let's just link this top and it'll kind of like reset and start over. And we'll do that on each of these. Okay, so let's take a look now at what this looks like when we prototype this out. So we'll come in here. I see the hover over if I were to select either of these designers. And when I select that, we come in. I'm now seeing the scores and ranks, and we can get more complex too. If I wanted to do something where it transitions into a screen and maybe the stats here are blank and everything starts over at like 0% opacity or one line, and then it's a time delay and it moves over. Like we could do some really complex and cool things here to make this feel even more alive. Like the stuff that you would do when you put it into active development, we can do that and we can simulate it. It's just gonna take extra steps, and for sake of time on these short streams, we won't go into that complexity yet, but you could do a lot of cool things. So next, let's take a look at how we wanna maybe export some things. And so I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna just rename some of these layers. So we'll do like tray badge. And then over here, we'll do Allen badge. And even though this is just text, I mean, I could like render it out or outline it, but we could do something such as logo. And then I'm going to come in here and I want to mark these items for export. Okay. And I can do the same thing. I can mark these buttons, go into the default state, make sure that's good to go. And anything that I put in here. So if I were to come in, I'm just going to drop in something else for the sake of showing it. So if I came in here and said icons and like, I don't know, we'll just do a little vote icon at the moment. Whoops. And let's do a coffee cup. Okay, great. So we've got those items. I'm gonna wanna come in. I just wanna make sure that the names of these are good. Okay, perfect. And same thing, I'm gonna mark this for export, mark this for export. I'll come down here too. I'm gonna just put this on the one screen. So, no, I'm gonna leave it. I want us to jump around. So I've got this again, vote indicator. Now, what's really cool is that I can go into share mode, and this is going to allow me to set up a lot of cool things. So this is just going to be for web. It's showing all the assets that I have gathered for this, and I can come in here now and grab this link. Let's just update it, make sure that nothing got messed up when I changed it from iOS to web. And it's going to generate that link file for us. Let me pull open the browser here on my other screen, bring that down. All right, cool. So now I can come in here and I can actually go in and like grab these different items. So I'm going to come over here and select the code icon. And you see over here, it's already giving me assets and aspect ratios, distances, and things like that. So it's telling me a lot about these files. Like I come in here, I get to see where this thing is aligned. I can see the space So shame on me, Peter. I've got fractional pixels on here. I shouldn't have that. But I am able to get a lot of information. And this is going to be super helpful when you hand this off to a developer or when you're doing QA, or if you have a QA team that needs to go in and review these files. They're going to be able to sit down, look at this, and ensure a pixel perfect output and gather the assets that they need. So I can come in here now. Again, I can click on this item. It's going to show me all of the stuff that I need about it. Click in over here. And I can see what the interactions are going to be. So it's even telling them that this item is a tap trigger. It's easing in and out, what the time delays might be for this. So really, really cool. And again, I can come back in here, and within this, I can now select these different items, and I can actually go in and download these files. I can see all of the colors that are being used in this palette, which again, really, really powerful, really, really helpful. And it's great for you as well to come in and take a look at this, just like hand it off. But what if we came in here and we noticed that, hey, we're using 5 shades of the same slightly different gray? Well, can we consolidate that? Can we simplify what our design system looks like, and just clean things up a little bit? And then I can come in here and I can look at the type, and I know where these are coming from because it's something else I have on the screen, but I might look at this and go, these fonts shouldn't be here. Let me go clean that up and again, simplify everything. So really, really cool that they're able to do this and once again, see all of the things that are going on. And so as I flip through these pages, I think it's going to be in the other file. Go back. It's got to be on page 3. It should be here because I grouped this. Why is that not showing? Let's double check it. So when we come over here, I've got this group that should be marked for export. Let me go mark it here as well. We're going to go back into share. I'm going to update link. And we'll copy paste this. And let me know if anyone has any questions as we go along here. But hopefully this should be pretty easy to follow along with. Okay, and let's get that bar out. Why? That might be a little bit buggy. This should be gathering something, and I'm not sure why that isn't gathering that asset correctly. Interesting. So yeah, I'd have to look into that, but little details here, you know, again, if I come in and I want to sit down and chat with my developer, I can show them that, hey, these items need to be 40 pixels tall. If it's 38, if it's 37, if they did it at 45, whatever it might be, you know, there's a reason that we as designers make these various selections. And so it's really important that we dial that in. And yeah, Swirly, you're right. Where are my icons? You know what I'm wondering? That shouldn't be. I know I have some extra artboards in here, but this isn't. Oh, this is pulling from a different set. Why is this doing this? That's a good question. I don't know why that is. It's a little buggy for me right now, but as a whole, hopefully we're getting the gist of how that works. So again, just a really powerful feature that you're able to utilize and hand stuff off. And again, make friends with your developers, work with them really well. And it's going to make for a great working relationship. And it's, to me, this is like where your quality and QA, QC stuff really comes into play. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions here and we can answer those. In the meantime, we've got like 2 minutes. Let's see if we can create that intermediary step where we would do these maybe here. Let's have this be 0. We'll do the same thing over here. Let's go to 2. And then we would do a screen here where This comes back. This comes back. And then we would pull these over a bit. So let's see what that would look like. All right, so if we voted for tray here, let's go into prototype. I'm going to switch that down to here. And then this screen to this screen is going to be a time. And we can give this a delay of like 0.2 seconds. That's fine. Auto animate. Maybe like 0.6. All right, let's check that out. Let's see what this looks like. Prototype, come up here. All right, so again, we've got our hovers. I click on tray. See, I love it. It's a little detail, but it totally just comes alive. So let's go through that once more. I hover over tray. It delays a second and then it moves over, and it's such a small thing, but this to me is what really takes it from just like prototyping and going slide to slide versus making these things come to life and feel like it's something that you built out in After Effects. So really cool stuff. Once again, if you haven't followed them yet, go follow Trey and Alan. Other than that, I think we got to wrap up for the day, but thank you all so much for joining me on these challenges the last 2 weeks. Make sure you send your stuff over in the XD Discord. We'll be doing streams Saturday and Sunday to review those. Go follow me on my personal Behance, behance.net/PeterDelTondo. We'll make sure to review your project. Other than that, stay safe, stay healthy out there, and we'll see you all soon. Stay tuned for the next stream.